Okay, so I hope you can all hear me well and that you can see my screen as well. Welcome to everyone. It's 9:01. Welcome to everyone to our AlpBioEco final project conference. I am warmly welcoming you on behalf of our entire project team to this conference focusing on the potentials of bioeconomy in the Alpine Space. We are looking forward to a day full of innovative ideas, new ideas, business model concepts, focusing around vegetable value chains here, and we're really excited to share this day with you. My name is Anna Beule. I'm the project coordinator for the AlpBioEco project. I'm working for the city of Sigmaringen, who is the lead partner in the project, and I am your main moderator for this morning session. For the afternoon session, my colleague, Professor Oliver Somm, will then run the moderation part. So, again, a very warm welcome on behalf of our entire team. Here on the left side, you can already see that we're a couple of organizations involved in this project. So we're 13 organizations in total, and we're really excited to share with you today our project activities, our results, what we've been working on, and get into interesting discussions with you. Let me share with you the agenda of today. So we just had a very informal opening. We had a bioeconomy breakfast where we already got to know each other for a bit. Now, for the next 15 minutes, we will be having the official opening where I will present to you the agenda and also explain some basic technical functions of this tool so you can all find your way around. Then we will have 2 welcome addresses. Afterwards, we will have the AlpBioEco presentation where we will share with you how our project journey was, what were our main activities, the main results, and then we have a 10-minute question and answer session, everything in the plenary. At 10:25, we will then have a quick group photo, right afterwards a coffee break, and then we move to the breakout sessions. So basically, you will have the opportunity to get to know the different value chains we've been working on a bit more, and then you can decide to join one of the 4 value chain sessions, and you will be in smaller groups discussing with the project partners what we've been doing and new ideas and current challenges in the different value chains. We are having the same breakout session twice, so they're identical. So you can choose after the first one just another one. So for instance, you choose first apple and then you choose walnut, so you can get different insights. Then we'll do a brief wrap up, and then that's it, everything basically already for our morning session. A brief outlook also already now to our afternoon. The afternoon is a bit different from the morning session. Of course, we will be having several businesses with us who will present their sustainable business practices. We will be having a project pitch session where we have 7 projects in total. They will present to you their core activities and what they're working on, and share with you also some best practices and lessons learned. And then afterwards, we will be having in-depth discussion in the expert roundtables at 15:35 in the afternoon. That's it for now. I will move on to a bit more technical aspects of the conference. Just got the information that you have a gray. I hope you can see my presentation better now. This tool we're using, WebEx, is very simple. If you have any problems, you can use the chat. If you have any questions, if you have questions either to one of our speakers or if you have technical problems, you can use the chat. You should see it in your screen. I will show it to you here. On the bottom, you can also choose who you want to send a message to. So if you want to address anyone maybe directly, you can also do that. In any case, if you have any problems, any questions, please just use the chat. You can also reach out to the person that is named JustStream in the chat directly, so they can help you then with all the technical problems as well. In the main session, you cannot talk, so everyone is muted. We are doing this also because we want to try to keep all the background noises out so we can hear the speakers best. And then for the breakout sessions, though, however, you can, of course, unmute yourself. You can always turn your camera on. And again, if you want to share anything, any comments, if you have any questions, feel free to please use the chat and we will get back to you about this. That's everything for the techniques until now. Now, regarding the communication, we're very excited for this day and we've been really looking forward to it. And we want to make sure that our project activities and results and everything that we're having here today is also being communicated further. So we would be happy if you could also share your experiences. I don't know if you're tweeting on the side anyway. If you do so, please use the hashtags that are named here on the slide. So use hashtag AlpBioEco, hashtag innovation, hashtag bioeconomy, and also hashtag made with Alpine Space and share. We will record our entire conference, the plenary sessions at least, and we will make a movie out of them, and we will also share them later on our website and also on our social media channels. We will take a couple of screenshots during our conference. If you don't want to be on the screenshots or anywhere there, please reach out to me. You can find my contact details. I will share them with you afterwards. You'll find them here on the slides, they're on the website. They have been also on the invitation form that was sent to you. So if you don't want to be on the screenshots that will be shared, please just reach out to me and we will make sure that you're not on there. That's everything for communication. If you want to get more information about the projects, follow us on our social media channels, have a look at our website, of course. And I think that's everything for communication until now. We will do a big picture later where we ask everyone kindly to switch on their screens and then we will do a screenshot. So that will be also a nice opportunity to see how many different people are involved with our conference. Okay, that's everything from my side for the moment. We're switching on to the next point, the welcome addresses. We have two guests with us today. So we are having Dr. Markus Ehm, who's the mayor of Sigmaringen, and then afterwards Primož Skryt, the project officer of the Alpine Space Joint Secretary. And we're really glad that you're both here. And now I give the word to Dr. Markus Ehm, mayor of Sigmaringen.
Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to our AlpBioEco final conference here in Sigmaringen. Unfortunately, I can't be with you here at the conference the whole day, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity to still send you a short video message for the beginning. On behalf of the city of Sigmaringen, I warmly welcome you to the AlpBioEco final conference here today. It is all about bioeconomy and innovation in the Alpine Space. We would have preferred to meet you in person, but now we will meet and work together online. So on. With the AlpBioEco project start in 2018, a great international collaboration has begun. Together with 12 project partners from Austria, France, Germany, Italy and Slovenia, we have worked to foster sustainable development. In Sigmaringen, we are very proud to be part of this project. We are a smaller town between Stuttgart and the Lake of Constance at the ground of Swabian Alps, which are committed to innovation and bioeconomy. The so-called InnoCamp here in Sigmaringen, the new innovation campus, brings together research and economy. It's a perfect place for new idea, research and startups. After 3 years, AlpBioEco will now come to an end in April 2021, but we will continue to promote bioeconomy in our regions. Last but not least, my special thanks go to our project coordinator, Anna Boyle, here at the city of Sigmaringen, and you, the entire AlpBioEco team, for putting on this conference. Now I wish you all a great conference, and together let us make the bioeconomy grow. Have a nice day and stay healthy, everything.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ehm. Thank you for your nice welcoming words. We're very excited and happy that you're here with us. And thanks very much.
Welcome.
We will be moving on now and we will hear some welcoming words by Primož Skrit, who is the project officer that is responsible for our AlpBioEco project at the Interreg Alpine Space Secretary. Primož, you have the word.
Thank you, Anna. Hello, good morning. I hope you can hear me and see me well. And yeah, thanks for this invitation for this final event. I will try to be rather short because I know that you have a lot of things to discuss, things that are much more important, but nevertheless, it's definitely a pleasure to always to participate on the final events of our projects and where we can finally see the product of your work. And just to mention that AlpBioEco is actually one of 63 projects that we co-financed through Interreg Alpine Space program in the current programming period, which seems a lot, but we received, I think, I don't know exact number, but probably more than 500 applications. So already you are one of the lucky ones to get the funds. And we are always happy that when the project is well developed and achieve all the promised results. So on behalf of the Interreg program of the Interreg Alpine Space, I would congratulate you now for all the work, all really good work done in the last 3 years. And actually, I still remember a bit less than 3 years ago, taking the train to visit you at your kickoff meeting in Sigmaringen. And it's definitely a pity, and it's a bit nostalgic now looking backwards, and that we cannot meet like this today and have all the chats in the breaks and taste all the nice products from the Alpine region. But okay, we need to adapt, and I'm definitely looking forward for today's meeting and all the inputs. I also remember from this meeting that my main input was about all the rules, all the complicated bureaucracy of the European Union, and it's good to see that you managed to get through it easily without any problems, and you developed several important results, either related to innovative business models, about bio-based value chains for apples, walnuts, and herbs, and also policy guidelines that are related to this issue. I'm happy and looking forward to hear more about this later. For us, it's especially important that these results have been achieved through transnational cooperation. And as we heard, 13 partners from 5 different countries worked on products. And this work really, such project proves that transnational cooperation is a very important tool of European cohesion policy. So yeah, at the end, I would really just shortly mention that sustainable development and also bioeconomy will be important focus also in the future programming period. I will tell you a bit more about this later. So this is an intro for the afternoon workshop. And yeah, for now, I wish you really a very, very successful conference. Thank you again. And yeah, all the best and stay healthy.
Thank you, Primož. Thank you very much. Yeah, it would have been nice if we would have had the possibility to also meet in person. We had planned the official final conference, of course, differently and not online, but also there are some advantages of doing an online conference so that everyone really from wherever it can take place and there is no big travel needed. So we also see it as a good opportunity to reach more people. And thank you very much for your nice words. Definitely a recommendation also to join the afternoon session by Primož if you want to get to know more about the Alpine Space program, transnational cooperation, and funding possibilities through the Alpine Space program. That's one of the expert roundtables we will be having this afternoon. Thank you very much. Now we will be getting deeper into the AlpBioEco project, and we will start off by showing you the AlpBioEco movie, just so you get an first idea of our project, about the different regions and what we've been working on. I might need 1 minute to set it up, and then I will start sharing the video with you directly.
sustainability is important for our future. We want to foster sustainable development in rural areas through bioeconomy. Bioeconomy can provide ecological, social, and economic sustainable solutions. Our goal is to build bridges between science and economy. We valorize renewable materials and leftovers by analyzing exemplarily the value chains of apples, walnuts, and herbs. In order to achieve that, we combine the expertise of 13 project partners from 5 Alpine countries in our AlpBioEco project.
Apples are a very interesting product or raw material, especially here in South Tyrol, one of the biggest apple growing regions in the world. And consumers around the globe love to eat apples or to drink apple juice. But what happens, for example, with the apple pomace, the residue from pressing? In AlpBioEco, we looked at the current market conditions for apples and analyzed their byproducts in the lab. We looked, for example, for polyphenols and 3D food-printed snacks. And based on this, we could develop products reaching from wax applications like ski wax and wax paper to decompostable cutlery to increase sustainability in our everyday lives. A meaningful outcome of the Apple experiments is that a high efficiency in the competitive markets can only be reached by using the entire byproduct.
Mein Name ist Ulfred Miller, ich bin vom Bund für Umwelt und Naturschutz und bei AlpBioEco sind wir an dem Walnussthema mit dabei. Wenn wir über Walnüsse reden, dann geht es nicht nur um die Nuss, sondern auch um die Schale und um die Blätter des Walnussbaumes. Wir haben nämlich festgestellt in den Laboruntersuchungen, es gibt verschiedene Inhaltsstoffe und eine Vielzahl an Produkten, die man daraus herstellen kann. Ein Beispiel ist der Walnuss Dresder, da erwarten wir eine hohe Wertschöpfung, weil man den sehr vielseitig verwenden kann in der Pharmazie, in der Textilindustrie, bei der Farbenherstellung und im Lebensmittelbereich. Und bei AlpBioEco geht es jetzt darum, festzustellen, wo haben wir eine hohe Wertschöpfung, was lässt sich technisch und wirtschaftlich machen und ist ökologisch sinnvoll.
Le erbe alpine ed officinali rappresentano un enorme potenziale di sviluppo per il settore della bioeconomia nello spazio alpino. Le analisi svolte nell'ambito del progetto AlpBioEco hanno mostrato come le acque floreali e gli oli essenziali dal processo di distillazione presentano sostanze funzionali attive molto interessanti. Possono essere utilizzate ad esempio come conservanti naturali per l'industria alimentare oppure come efficaci repellenti per gli insetti o erbicidi o fungicidi. Anche il fieno alpino rappresenta interessanti potenzialità sia nel wellness sia per innovativi prodotti nel campo della cosmetica e nel packaging.
The bioeconomy in the European Union is full of rich potential for new eco-innovative business models. Having investigated on a huge number of new product ideas and technical functionalities in the first project phase, we now try to develop new business model blueprints to turn them into marketable products. This is done in close collaboration with a huge variety of different stakeholders from other European regions. After this, we try to implement the business model blueprints in the market and see if they really work. Finally, at the end of the project, we will gather all our experiences made in the project and bring it back to the European Union and the policymakers to improve the knowledge transfer of our solutions into other European regions. So there is a number of possibilities to get involved with the project. Get in touch with us and stay tuned.
Okay, so I think we all got already a good impression, first impression of the AlpBioEco project, and you got to see already some of our project partners. And now I hope that you can see again my normal screen with my presentation. Yes, that works. That's perfect. And now we will get a bit more into the project, into what we've been actually doing, what we have been working on during the last 3 years. This morning already some former project team members also called and wished us all the best for our final conference, especially also to the team. And now we're really proud to present to you what we've been working on. Let me start with the goals briefly up front. If you have any questions regarding the AlpBioEco project, regarding our activities, and just also this next explanations, please don't hesitate to use the chat, type in your comments, type in your questions, and right after this brief introduction of our project, we will be having time to ask or discuss questions, and you can ask basically all the questions that you want to the different project partners from the different regions. So let me start with the main goals of our AlpBioEco project. The main goals of our project is to find bioeconomic potentials within the value chains of plant extracts and foods. So the main was, by doing that, to find ways to strengthen regional value chains, strengthen regional value creation, the regional economy, by contributing to the high quality use of residual materials. Of course, with our project, we want to raise awareness about bioeconomy, about the great possibilities that are offered by using natural resources instead of fossil fuel resources when it comes to a sustainable future. Also, our goal, of course, was to establish long-lasting cooperations that go beyond the 3-year project phase that we have, but really to establish a network and to foster cooperation regionally, but also across regions, across countries, and across borders. In our project, we were focusing exemplary on 3 value chains. So we were focusing on the potentials in the value chain of herbs and hay. We were focusing on the value chains of walnuts and then also of apples. As already explained earlier, we have a big team of 13 different organizations, and we are located in 5 different Alpine countries. So we're in Germany, we're in France, in Austria, in Slovenia, in Italy. And we have very different project partners within our project. So I myself, I work for the city of Sigmaringen, so we're a local municipality, but then we also have, for instance, a biotechnical center in Slovenia, the biotechnical center in Naklu, but we also have the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Slovenia, or we have cluster organizations, Business Upper Austria or Innov Alliance in France, a university that is also located here in Sigmaringen, or the Friends of the Earth Germany organization for this region. So it's very, very different. We have further universities. We have the Tech Park in South Tyrol, of the Competence Center for Nutrition in Bavaria, and of course also the Italian Chamber of Commerce. So it's a very big mixture and also quite diverse, and we really realized also in our project that it's very valuable because we all have different strengths and we all have different focus areas and different networks, and that was especially valuable for our project activities. A bit more about the project. So our project officially started mid-April 2018 already, and it's soon ending. So we are only having 2 months left, and then it will be over already. I will just mute to reduce the background noise. Our project language, of course, is English. We have a total budget of 2.1 million euros, and we're co-financed, as Primož already said, by 85% through the European Regional Development Fund by the Alpine Space program. So on this slide, we want to show you what the different project phases were. As I just said, we had a 3-year project, and this was structured in 4 main work phases, so to say. And as you can see, we're almost at the end. We only have 2 months left, so we have done quite a lot already. We have analyzed the bioeconomic value chains in different regions. We have then, based on our findings, we have developed different business model concepts in collaboration with different other institutions We have selected then further business models to really focus on it, to develop them further. And then in the end, of course, we also want to make sure that everything that we have found out can be also transferred. So we decided to write implementation guidelines that shall help, for instance, entrepreneurs, smaller institutions, any organization to realize the business models that we have developed, but also to improve the framework conditions in bioeconomy in different regions. So now I will explain to you a bit more in detail the different project phases that we've been working on, and also show some pictures to you so you get an idea of what we've been doing. For the first project phase, that was our value chain analysis phase, we have analyzed in laboratories, but also through market studies, the 3 exemplary value chains: apples, walnut, and herbs. We always say exemplary value chains, apples, walnuts, and herbs, because of course we found these results for these 3 value chains, but you can transfer the results that we have generated also to other bio-based value chains. It's not only focused on these 3 value chains. Responsible for the first work package was our project partner CAN, that's the Competence Center for Nutrition in Bavaria. What have we done? As I said, we have conducted several laboratory analyses, and we have done that in different regions. So we were basically looking at the raw materials, we were looking at biotechnical functions of the different raw materials. We were doing first exemplary product experiments, and we also have, for instance, collaborated with the University of Alpstadt-Sigmaringen strongly with that. We had small groups of students who were just doing product prototyping, and so we got the first insights into the value chains, and based on them, we could then continue because we found different potentials, we found different raw materials that are interesting. So for instance, for the walnut, we have found that the walnut press cake, that is the residue if you do walnut oil pressing. So if you have a walnut and you want to make oil, then you press it, and then of course you get the oil, but then on the other hand, you have the press cake, which is kind of the hard residue. And that is not really being well used until now. And we found similar residues, raw materials in apple and herbs value chain as well. And for these raw materials, we were then going on to develop business model concepts. This was our second project phase that was being led by the Management Center Innsbruck, also one of our project partners. And we have done in this workshop, in this project phase, we have done a lot of workshops in many regions. So we had in total 22 workshops in 5 countries. And here on the right, you can see a picture of one of the open innovation workshops that took place here at the InnoCamp in Sigmaringen. And in these workshops, we brought together 182 participants from all different areas. So it was a pharmacist, and then we had small entrepreneurs, we had people from research, we had private persons who were really just interested, then we had big we had representatives from big enterprises, we had marketing experts, we had food technologists, chemists. So it was really fruitful to have this mix of stakeholders with us in the workshops and working on us on the idea creation for new products and services that could use the potentials that we found in the value chains of apples, walnuts, and herbs. In total, in all these workshops that we have conducted, we have developed over 440 ideas for new products and services. And from these ideas, we then went on and merged some of them, developed them further, and then in the end, we had 26 new business model concepts that can also, of course, be found on our website. That show how we can create value, so how to earn money, also with using the byproducts or the raw materials of the value chains of apples, walnuts, and herbs. As I said just now, all the results, so also from the first project phase, from this project phase, and from the next ones as well, you can find everything on our website. If you have trouble finding any results, you can always, of course, also reach out to one of our project partners and they will help you through with this. Or if you have specific questions for the regions, then feel free to always reach out to our project partners. So what happened after that? Oh, let me first show you a couple of pictures. So here on the left, for instance, you can see a picture that looks a bit like a kitchen. Here you can see that is pasta made from walnut press cake. Then on the next, there are again several products that are made with walnut, and so on, just to give you an idea on how really practical our workshops were. So it was not only idea creation on paper, but there were really people doing product prototyping, for instance, the pasta or also soap, to make it also really relevant for the practice. As a next step, we then went on and we had developed until now 26 business model concepts for the value chains of apples, walnuts, and herbs. In the project phase 3, we were going on to validate these business model concepts and to do pilot actions to see how feasible the business models actually are in reality. This work package was led by the project partner Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Slovenia. And what we have been doing, we have selected of these 26 business models, we have selected 6 plus 1. We always say 6 plus 1 because we have 6 for the value chains. And then we have one separate one that is basically overarching because it's digital and it relates to all the different value chains, business models. And we have selected these 6 plus 1 to really deep further into and to develop them further, to check the assumptions that we made. And we have done this in cooperation with local businesses, with local institutions. We have conducted 17 regional focus group workshops, so that were small in-group discussions on the business models, checking the hurdles, checking possible problems when we are looking at the implementation of the business model, but also the next suggested steps, looking at who would be relevant to be included in this business model. And then also, of course, we did some prototyping. We were going to businesses as much as we could. Because of COVID, we had to do some adjustments, so we did also a lot of online work, but still it worked out very well. And so we were continuing to work on these 6 business models, and you can read these 6 business models on this slide as well. So for apple, we have decided to work on the gluten-free apple flour from apple pomace. So apple pomace is the residue that you get, for instance, when you press apple juice. That's the same with the walnut press cake. You press the juice, you have the juice on the one side, and then everything else is basically the apple pomace. So for apple, it's gluten-free apple flour from apple pomace, or disposable tableware and biodegradable packaging from apple pomace, a topic that gets more and more relevant also with the new restriction when it comes to plastic by the EU. Then for walnut, we have looked at walnut snack products with walnut press cake, and then also at spreads with walnut press cake. That on the first sight doesn't seem super innovative, but actually the connection of the different stakeholders and utilizing this raw material is super innovative. Then herbs and hay. So we were working on herbs, but also on hay. And here we were looking at a baby pacifier that has a herbal essence within, maybe to calm down the baby or to relieve pain when they're getting their teeth. And then as a last one, the regional seed material from Alpine hay meadows, which is basically using the hay flower heads from Alpine hay meadows. For all these 6 business models, you can get more information, more insights, discuss current challenges. They will be all discussed in the breakout sessions later. So now you already have an idea on what we've been working on. And I will show you some pictures now so you can get an even better idea of what they look like. So here you can see, for instance, on the bottom left, you can see straws that were made from apple. You can see on the top above some pictures from the production or the processing of apple pomace, and also then on the right. On this slide, on the next one, you can see then how the apple flour turned into different products. So you see really tasty looking cakes or also bread, and then you see production facilities also for cosmetics, for instance. The picture on the bottom where you see this nice group of people, that for instance is a picture that was taken at one of our focus group workshops in Slovenia at the Biotechnical Center in Akron. Here we go, and you see some more pictures of our walnut activities. On the left, we were in the laboratory of the university, processing the walnut press cake further. Then you can see the prototype products, the walnut spreads, and also the snacks on the right. And here we continue with the herbs. On the left, you can see the distillation of herbs in Istria in Slovenia. And then on the right, you see the harvesting of the Alpine hay flowers in the region Walgau in Austria and Vorarlberg. I don't want to go into too much detail because I'm sure that you get a more in-depth presentation in our breakout sessions later. So let's continue with the last business model. As I said earlier, we have selected 6+1, so the 6 for the specific value chains, and then we have selected 1 that is kind of overarching. That's the digital service platform. Because in all of the workshops that we had, we always got the feedback that there is a need to get a platform to connect the different stakeholders, so to connect the persons, for instance, that have the press cake with the ones that want to utilize it. There is a need for an exchange also of information, but also the need to create a platform where people can offer services or also search for services. And this is basically the idea of the digital service platform. And the picture on the right basically shows one already existing platform like that. It is called Digitale Rohstoffbörse. That was also a research project, and we have collaborated with them for our workshops. That was our third work package, and now we're basically at the end of our fourth work phase. Here, the responsible project partner is Business APA Austria. They coordinated that we, from all the results that we have produced, that we are developing economic and political guidelines for the implementation of the business model. So what we've been actually doing is we have done several workshops. We have created for each region, we have created an advisory board that is consisting of, for instance, one person from the policy, then we have one entrepreneur, we have someone who is into marketing, then we have someone maybe from a local public authority, and we have brought them together, selected one business model, and for this business model, we have then developed really just a document that shall help any interested person in the implementation of the business model in the region, and at the same time also give recommendations to policymakers on how to improve the framework conditions in the region. We have done that, as I said, with different workshops. We had 10 online workshops in total. We had, in addition, 10 creative co-working workshops using different methods. And in the end, we have developed 10 regional implementation guidelines, and they are now currently being brought together into a big guideline that is called the Transnational Transfer Guideline, and that shall help to also make the results that we generated transferable to other regions, to other business models, and to make sure that the project results that we have generated do not end right at the end of our project or at the end of the Alpine Space, but that they also can go beyond. Here again, the overview of our different project steps. That's already everything for the project journey presentation for now, and now there would be room for questions if you have any. Feel free to just use the chat and write down your question, and I will read them out. If you have specific questions to our project partners, that's perfect. Then they will be able to answer as well. Maybe you have specific interest in one business model, or you're curious about one specific region, or about the method that we've been using in our project. Everything is open for questions. Okay, I see the first question in the chat from Lorenzo de Benedictis. He's asking whether it is possible to download the brochure, the guidelines. And yes, that's possible. All the results can be found on our website. There is, for instance, the best practice brochure from our third work package, but then there is also a lot of information, for instance, on the creation of the different eco-innovative business models. We have very, very detailed reports and brochures of our activities and the results generated, and they will be available on our website. Our website will be available for the next 3 years, so you also have some time to download it. Afterwards, we will probably not have the website anymore. I also see that Vesna from the Slovenian Chamber of Commerce and Industry has already posted the link to the best practice brochure in the chat. And yeah, we are also currently creating a final big report that will be published probably end of March. And that will be available in different languages as well. So not always only English, but we will also have it in German and other languages. And that will be then also available on our website. If you're interested in receiving further information in general, some of you have already signed up or agreed to receiving the newsletter when you signed up for this conference. If you want to receive the newsletter and you don't have subscribed to it yet, you can still do so also on our website, and there we will inform you, of course, also about our final project report. And big thanks to Vesna for posting the links directly in the chat. I see another question of Lorenzo. He's asking, how did you extract the essence of herbs? There was a machine on the picture. Did you extract it via solvents? I would like to give the word to Jana Bergant if possible. She's here.
Yes, Anna, I don't think that, yes, thank you. I don't think that she's here, but she will be later on presenting her project idea in the market pitch. So I would kindly ask you to go there and join this section. And anyhow, in the breakout session 1 and 2, this will be also presented in more detail. But just to answer the question quickly, this is a small distillation machine which Jana bought, and she uses this basically for the distillation of her herbs. In that case, during a business visit, we were distillating the everlasting flower or eternal flower, which is indigenous medicinal plant which grows in this part of Slovenia. And she basically just put the plant material in this machine, and then she added, I think that she added something in there, but yeah, a type of solvent. But anyhow, she will be presenting this in more detail during the market pitch.
Perfect, thanks, Vesna. Yes, the pitches will start right early in the afternoon, and would be great if you can just join there. I also send you the so the full name of the person is Jana Bergant. Her company is Bonistra Company. If you want to look it up, that's also possible for sure. I saw another question from Marco. You are asking whether we are planning to keep following the developed business models, or if we're planning to do similar projects. Yes, we are. So we have decided in our project team, of course, who will be responsible. Responsible sounds not really nice in this case, but who will be promoting the business models further, who will be continuing to work on them. So for instance, as you probably know, in the region of southern Germany, we have the Friends of the Earth organization, BUND, Regionalverband Bodensee Oberschwaben. They will for sure follow all the activities that are centered around the walnut business models, but then also we have some different organizations outside of our project consortium. We have startups who want to take on ideas, and I hope this answers your question. So yes, we will definitely follow the business models, and we will definitely also try to build on the results that we already have, to capitalize on them, and then to create new projects whether that be research projects or marketing projects on EU level or on a smaller level, maybe regional, maybe international, but we will definitely follow. And we have also experienced, we got a lot of positive feedback and a very large amount of people that were really interested in the project as well. So the project will just also continue in that way, that the business models are just interesting for many people and they will probably continue to work on them. Now I got a question regarding how did the pasta taste. I must say I did not try it, so I don't know. But I'm sure it's really tasty. I've tried a different pasta, so I made some walnut pasta myself, and that was really nice. It really tastes super nice. It has a high amount of protein. It's you have to be careful because if you substitute the normal flour with too much walnut press cake flour, then it gets a bit tricky because you need to make sure that it doesn't just fall apart, because normally the gluten in the pasta makes sure that the pasta sticks together. But yeah, it tastes nice, a bit more nutty, but yeah, it's healthy. Let me check if I missed any other question. I saw that I missed the first question by Ricardo. He is asking how these 3 exemplary value chains were selected and which criteria were used. I would hand over to the responsible partner from the first work package, to Team Cam.
Hi, Anja. Anna, can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, of course, I read it out again. So Ricardo Vargas would like to know how the 3 exemplary value chains were selected, considering which criteria. And as this was something that was done in the first work package, I thought it'd be best if you answer it as the responsible partner.
Yeah, I wasn't responsible in this phase of the project, but I guess when I remember colleague Martina, it was selected because of the typicality of the Alpine region. These products were mentioned to be the most popular and well-known products from the Alpine Space. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, maybe to add to that, also there are 3 very different products. So as the raw product, you have a fruit, then you have a nut product, and then you have the herbs, or even the hay, which is then considering meadows. So it was also nice that we have these 3 different value chains, because that, of course, makes it also easier to transfer the results later on, because you can transfer maybe apple to pear, or you can transfer from the walnut to another nut. And that also, of course, is a factor why we have these 3 different ones. Let me check if I see another question in the chat for now. Okay, Wuhan is asking, will AlpBioEco look for the involvement of students? If so, how can one get in touch? Yes, we have been looking for the involvement of students. We have actually also worked together with the University of Hohenheim last year and the year before as well for 2 student papers, and I think also the other project partners have been working with students for different parts of the project. If you want to get to know more about the different possibilities, reach out to me. I think that's best, and then we can coordinate. Yet our project is ending in 2 months, so I'm not quite sure how feasible it is to work for this project. Again, at least within the project phase, but I'm sure that there are possibilities for students also to collaborate with the project, and also maybe to take topics from the project and work on them even further. So as we said also earlier, some project partners will continue to work on the topics of AlpBioEco, so I'm sure that there will be possibilities. So if you want to get involved with any student work here, feel free to reach out to me. I will post again my email right here now in the chat, so you can copy it straight away. It's also in the presentation, of course, on the website, or if you are looking for another project partner specifically, I'm sure you can reach out to them directly as well. Also, Ulfried Miller from one of our project partners, he said that they are in contact with 2 students already. They want to check which insects are, for instance, living under the walnut trees. So they want to focus more on the ecological biodiversity aspects that come along with walnut trees. So there are many possibilities to work on the different topics of our project. I see another question from Lorenzo. He is asking, what are the further steps of the project? Are there any cooperations planned with already existing companies? Are there going to be any startups, either financed by states or local companies? I will start answering. If any project partner wants to add to that, please do. So we have already established cooperations with several firms. We have already produced, for instance, a gin that is not we, but a local company has produced a gin that was made with walnut. They will continue to do so. That's kind of a cooperation, but it's more an idea exchange, and they just continue to work on this. There are several organizations who are looking into founding their own startup. So yes, there will be startups that come from the AlpBioEco project. Then I see another question by Wuhan. Preparation of food is tricky. Did you check for health issues, allergies? Was it a marketable commercial product or just to showcase the possibilities? So I hope I will answer your question right here. So when we were looking at the different products, we had of course also taken into account that some of the products we're working with, for instance, the walnut, has a high allergen, and we did consider that, of course, as we have not started in the project to really produce and market products, because we are a research and innovation project. So what we're doing is we're generating ideas, we're developing them further, we're collaborating with businesses, but we are not really producing ourselves. So we were looking out, of course, for allergens, and we were making sure that this is noted also as a possible hurdle, maybe to implement a business model. But we did not market products ourselves, so we did not come into, we did not market them, so we stopped basically with noticing that there are allergens, which allergens are in there. And of course, we also did laboratory analysis, but we don't have a final product. I hope this answers your question. If I missed something, feel free to ask again in the breakout sessions that will follow just now. Okay, we have 2 last questions, and I think then we will continue. Lorenzo asked if there's any possibility to join, help, interact with those startups you mentioned. Just reach out to me or to one of our project partners, or if you reach out to me anyway, I will forward you probably also to one of our project partners. So I think there is a possibility to get to know these startups. Then we have one question from Vesna asking if the chef has some problems while preparing the cookies and cakes from apple flour. So Barbara or Uroš, maybe you want to answer quickly. So that's the question related to apple flour. Are there any problems while preparing cookies or cakes?
Yes, thank you for the question. Yes, when we test some recipes with apple flour, at the beginning we use it as a flour instead of the normal flour. And these are especially for the sponge cake was a problem because the sponge cake is so fluffy, and if we use all apple flour instead of normal flour, the results is not the same. So we changed the strategy, and we put apple flour in with the normal quantity of sugar to add to the eggs. And in this case, the sponge cake was fluffy as the normal one. All our tests and recipes were collected and will be available on our website. We prepare two books, one for walnut recipes and one for apple recipes. And so you can find all this information and some tips for preparing some good sweet in particular. I hope I have already answered your question.
Thank you very much, Barbara, for your detailed answer. If you have further interest, of course, just join the Apple session, and I'm sure there will be more. Also, the recipe booklets that are on our website, they're really handy and they're not complicated, easy to understand, and it's also just nice to experience sometimes how it is to work with new products. Also, we have a similar thing for walnut that's also on the website. Just go and have a look, and maybe you can also experiment in your own kitchen with this. I see one last question. When working with businesses, what were their expectations in terms of what you could do for them? What are they expecting? Consultancy, funding, specific services? This was a question from Diego Rinaldo. Does anyone of the project partners wants to answer?
In our cases, we follow the implementation of the apple flower, and we have the chance to follow a young farmer in this phase of implementation. So for the production and the realization of a cosmetic line with apple flower, and is Lorenzo Picco, and in the afternoon we'll have a pitch on all the activities that he done. And obviously, we face during this implementation phase all the chances and the hurdles that a young farmer or a young entrepreneurs face to the respect of taking an idea on the eco-innovative project and take into reality. So we manage also all this thing and stuff to bring the idea into concrete and also giving him contact to realize a network of supporting system, like, for example, the Chamber of Commerce that supports young entrepreneurs, or the possibility to have a mentor to follow him in the development of the business models, also how and where to find funding supports both on a regional and on a European level. So, and this, I think that this was the most important activities that we done during the implementation phase of AlpBioEco, since this led to a very concrete results. I am very proud that that one of my contacts will be launched this startup, and following all the activities that we done together with the partners of AlpBioEco.
Thank you, Barbara. I saw that also Ulfried Miller from the Friends of the Earth Germany regional section answered, and he answers that from his experience, businesses need partners for services, they need partners, new contacts, and they come also to us so that we can foster the networking activities, bring them in contact with relevant other actors. And then also he said that they need consulting, of course, they need more information when it comes to technical information, but also funding. Does any other project partner wants to share something more, answer to one of the questions, add to anything? Okay. I'm just looking at the time right now. I see that we have a couple of more minutes, so we could answer also a couple of more questions if you wish to.
Anna, maybe if I may add, yes, considering the interests of our project partners, which we involve them in our project activities, is basically also raising the awareness that what possibilities are out there in terms of circular economy, bioeconomy, and through them, basically, we are spreading this further on because at the end consumer needs to be aware of that, and he or she needs to know why are they paying a little bit more for those products, who are they supporting within this, what are they supporting. So it's the whole, let's say, story behind it. And I think this is also one of the important outputs from our project activities and this project in particular.
Thank you, Vesna, for adding to this.
And Anna, if I may also add
Sure.
something, I think the best part, at least for me, of this project is that you always have a risk when implementing a European project that it doesn't really bring much at the end of the project. So you don't really manage to create something concrete because you don't have so much time. So you have mostly 2-3 years time and then it's over and you have no funding more. And in some cases, it might be that your work doesn't really bring to a next step. But in this case, I think the best part is that we were really able to give a concrete help to some companies who which had some innovative ideas, or maybe they were just open-minded and they were looking for new opportunities. And through these projects, they had some ideas, but also some concrete support, because maybe alone they wouldn't have done what they did with us. And I'm so, as Barbara said, I'm really proud of it. And for this reason, I think AlpBioEco was really a successful project because we really managed to create something concrete.
Thanks, Anja. Yeah, also from the experience here from the region of Sigmaringen, it is really also a good experience and a positive experience if you reach out to local companies and you get in touch with them. Maybe you are in a workshop together and then you really get positive feedback and you see that also the ideas from the project that they have a practical relevance, and then they take them and they develop them further and even produce products. So that really shows that there is a big potential when it comes to bioeconomy in these value chains that we selected. Okay, a last comment from Diego Renalo that I will just read out. He was stating that they were also a project partner in the Alp Foodway project. That is, if I remember correct, also an Interreg project in the Alpine Space. And he stated that they couldn't, after the end of the project, accompany some of the farmers and producers anymore. So yeah, of course, it's a bit difficult if the project then ends after a couple of years. You need to establish probably also cooperations that can go beyond the duration of the project. So we'll try our best to do this with AlpBioEco. Okay. If there are no further questions anymore.
And I think there is one from Paula Gioia. Was your evaluation of the choice to include workshops in your project positive? If I may answer, I think it was, because we had many input and insights from very different partners, from institutions, but also from company. And for example, during the workshops in Work Package 3, so or Work Package 2, sorry, when we wrote down a business model canvas, it was very useful to understand what was feasible and what was not. And I think it wouldn't have been so easy without so many inputs from different experts. So I think it was definitely a good choice to include so many workshops.
Yeah, maybe I can add, Sonia. Thanks. So bioeconomy innovation needs diversity. So bioeconomy means to establish complete new value creation networks, new value creation relationships between actors or stakeholders that previously probably haven't been connected to each other. And so that was a particular benefit of the workshops, to bring all the diverse stakeholders, the farmers, manufacturers, customers, future customers. Like I already mentioned in the chat, we also included students in the creativity sessions. So, and I think this was a major benefit to have all the stakeholders involved in the workshops, and also, yeah, to give them the chance to learn from each other in terms of how do they think, what is their logic of doing business, what do they want, what do they need in order to develop a future bioeconomy business model together. And I think this is something that we couldn't have achieved without the workshops.
Thank you both. Also, Olli, I always remember that when we were talking about this topic as well, you were also giving this information with the walnut farmer, or I don't know if it was a walnut farmer, but there was any farmer who was in the workshop, and then at the end you had this conversation, and then they were stating that it's funny or interesting because usually they wouldn't have been in contact with the university about their topic, but it was the topic relevant to the university and was relevant to the farmer. And so this brought them together and also reduced, just the distance between these two. Might have been really in the same city as well, but they would have never been in contact without this. And so, yeah, I think that's really also what brings a large value to the people who were involved in the project. So all the workshop participants as well. Okay, there is one further question from Lorenzo De Benedictis. He's asking whether there's a follow-up project planned and whether we have submitted anything for the Horizon 2020 call, which is another EU funding program focusing on innovation and I think societal challenges. Does anyone want to answer? Big silence. So I think there are some follow-up activities planned. I can't say if any of the project partners has currently. There is no one big follow-up project specifically for AlpBioEco, but I'm sure that there are some project ideas, whether they have been submitted under the Horizon 2020 or not, that are basically based on some results from the project or based on the activities that we have conducted in the project as well. Okay, Paola is sharing one comment. She said she took part in a workshop in Turin and she saw the comparison between the different realities, the originality of the proposal, and then also the effort to contribute to the project. Thanks for sharing your comments. Just checking if we have more questions. Doesn't seem so for now. Maybe we'll give a couple of more seconds if anyone wants to still add to this discussion. Doesn't seem so. Thank you very much to everyone who has posed a question or a comment in the chat. This is really valuable and also interesting for us to see what is interesting from, let's say, persons outside the project consortium, because we're also sometimes in this project bubble. And so the exchange is really valuable for us. We will continue now. We're a bit early in time, but this is something good. It's always better to have a couple of minutes more than to be delayed also right at the start. We will continue now with the family photo, and I would hand over to my colleague Lisa, who is a project assistant in our project, and she is doing a lot of the communication work also on the social media channels. Thank you, Lisa, for this very much. And now the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Could you please stop sharing your screen so I can see one? Perfect, great. So as you thought, if you don't want to be in the picture, just put your camera on. I'm waiting for everyone to be ready. Camera's coming. Okay, great. Let's start with the first picture. Everyone smile. I'm going to take a couple more just to be sure everyone's happy on it. Great, keep smiling. Perfect, I'm at the last one. Your nice face. Okay, that's it. Nice pictures. Thanks for sharing your video.
Thanks, perfect.